Bienvenidas to Latina Literati. If you enjoy wonderful places, interesting people from past and present, and great books, then this is the channel for you. Today I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to share with you 3 hidden gems in Guatemala City. You know I love to be in Guatemala City, and I'm going to share 3 places that are what are called beyond the beaten path. Is that how you say it? They're outside your travel itineraries and suggestions, but they're really worthwhile. And so the first one is the textile museum, El Museo Ixchel. The museum has its roots in the textile committee of Tikal, and in 1977 it separates out as its own nonprofit and sets up a museum first in a private home and eventually raises funds to build a building in Zone 10 where you can visit it today. A beautiful modern building, and the outside has some of the designs that you'll find in typical Guatemalan or rather Mayan textiles. And so they showcase textiles from all over Guatemala, beautiful Mayan weavings, not only clothing, but accessories, things for the home. And they have really good books. I bought several books on weaving there. So instead of recommending books, I'm going to say visit the Museo Ixchel and choose some beautiful books there, because everything from the history of weaving to samples of Mayan weavers, their histories, their stories are all available in the bookstore at the Museo Ixchel. So really worth visiting in Zone 10 at the Francisco Marroquin University. And they have events there as well. They have talks and different things. They're currently, if I'm not mistaken, presenting an exhibit on cofradías. And these are groups that come together for different special events. So really interesting to take a look at the different costumes and weavings and clothing they're used by cofradías around Guatemala. So wonderful place to visit. Enjoy. You're going to love it. As we've talked about before, in the Mayan tradition, the Mayan women have been weaving for at least 10,000 years. And the Museo Ixchel is a beautiful place to look at some samples of Mayan weaving from all over Guatemala. The museum is named after Ixchel, the Mayan goddess of both fertility and weaving, which is interesting. So the goddess that creates both life and inspires weaving. So again, I invite you to visit and enjoy the beauty that is the Mayan weaving. The second hidden gem of Guatemala is something that I've heard about my whole life. And adults would talk about how special this place was and how much everyone who wanted to actually know really Guatemala had to visit it. And I finally did. So it is called the Relief Map of Guatemala, or El Mapa en Relieve. And it's exactly what you would get from the name. It's a sensational 3-dimensional map of the entire country. It's really amazing to see. It was inaugurated in 1905, and every nook and cranny, every volcano, every river, every town, every road is there to scale. And it's just amazing to think that over 100 years ago this was inaugurated. So the entire country's features are there in detailed and with the names. And to see all of the volcanoes and to see all of the different lakes, it's just amazing to see how beautiful this is represented in this map in relief, or Mapa en Relieve. It is the largest ever created anywhere in the world. There was an attempt in Scotland, but Guatemala is actually larger than Scotland, so Guatemala's is still bigger. Engineers Francisco Vela and Claudio Urrutia spent 15 years on the back of mules and donkeys going from one side of the country to the other, measuring every mountain, measuring every crevice, every canyon, every part of the country. 15 years to be able to recreate this map in relief, or Mapa and Relieve. Really amazing to see. And it was recently restored, so everything looks nice. I mean, thinking that it's, over 100 years old, you would think that it's faded, but it's actually well done. And what most surprised me is that they described the engineering underneath. Again, over 100 years old, they can pump water so that the rivers and the lakes and the oceans are filled as they are in real life. So amazing place, and just a marvelous hidden treasure in Guatemala City. It's near the industrial park, or Parque de la Industria. It's really worth seeing, and we spent several hours there just gaping at the beauty of this relief map that was so real. And to think that it was done before airplanes and before modern mapping mechanisms. 15 years going from east to west, north to south, every single nook and cranny of the country being measured. I mean, it's unbelievable. It took several years also to take all that information and translate it into what would be needed to then create the country to scale in cement. And of course then painted and things. What a special place to just get a view of Guatemala. And it included at that point in time Belize, which of course is now a separate country. So it's quite large, the amount of territory that was covered. So really recommend it. Amazing. So when you next visit Guatemala City, tell your tour guide, your friends, or just go to the relief map, or Mapa and Relieve, because it is really just worthwhile. And the third hidden gem in Guatemala, it's a relatively new development in Zone 10. It's called Ambia, but the hidden gem is actually on the second floor. So this is a very social area. It's an area filled with nightclubs, and my favorite bookstore is a block away, Sophos. But if you go to Ambia in Zone 10, the second floor, there you'll find Piu Trentenuove. It's a wonderful Italian restaurant. What makes it even more special is that the family members that own it attend to you, just really share their love of Southern Italian cooking. So I would invite you to taste some fabulous pizza, and when you say, okay, let's change a bit, because Guatemalan food is very good. When you say, let's try some great pasta, everything is made right there every day. And here we have one of the owners, Daniela, who's sharing with us her vision for the restaurant.
Ciao, benvenuti a Piu Trentenuove. I am part of an Italian family, so we decided to open this restaurant to show Guatemalan people, all our tourists and visitors, the real Italian food. So we try and put all of our effort to build these dishes that are like 100% Italian. We bring ingredients from Italy, from the tomatoes to the flour. You are more than welcome to come if you want to live an experience that is 100% Italian.
So we had a wonderful lunch. We highly recommend it. Again, when you're next in Guatemala, try it out. Piu Trentenuove, and thank you so much to the family for having us in their beautiful restaurant. So I chose these three hidden gems because one represents the very ancient traditions of weaving. One represents kind of modernity in terms of engineering feats, in terms of being able to calculate and measure the entire country in the Mapa and Relieve. And then the third is a very modern place where you can have really good Italian cuisine. And so I thought these were three hidden gems that were well worth sharing with you, so that when you're next in Guatemala, you can explore and check them out. And as I mentioned in this particular video, I'm not gonna recommend books, because at the Museo Ixchel, you can get fabulous books. At Ambia, Kitty Corner, there's a fabulous bookstore where you can search and find your own books. And so recommending any particular books in this video, but I am recommending you visit these three hidden gems. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey and for getting to the end of this video. And as always, mucho cariño, mucho salud y mucho amor. Gracias.